Hey guys, before we hop into Timberwolves talk today, just need to mention Boomerang Energy, 10% off code BASSHOLE at checkout for all your energy needs. It's Monday. I'm a little tired, but after drinking this Boomerang, I'm feeling pretty good and I'm ready to pound out some content.
Yeah,
So,
Boomerang Energy is a local-based brand out of Duluth, Minnesota. So use code BASS BASSHOLE at boomerangenergy.com on your next purchase. All right, let's get right into Timberwolves talk here. I mean, ever since we talked last week, there's hasn't been much news. I mean, we had the huge Heat game, and then we had the terrible Clippers game last night that as I looked at it at the third quarter, it did not look like how the box score turned out to be. It was just a manslaughter out there. But yeah, we got talk about that. We got a few more other things we're going to talk about. So stick around for a great episode.
yeah, I guess starting off with the Heat game. Jimmy Butler doesn't have too much luck against the Timberwolves, I guess, being on the Heat. He beat us when he was on the Sixers, but I don't think he's won. The Heat are 0-5 against us in the past 5 games, and he's been on the team for 3 of them. So Jimmy has 3 straight losses to the Timberwolves, which is kind of incredible. Um, I don't know. I guess the starters are better than the third stringers. I don't
I
know.
saw you. Did you tweet that somewhere? Or did you comment that? I saw you. I
Yeah, right after the game, I left a little tweet, tagged Jimmy Butler.
he
Said
didn't see.
starters are better than the third stringers. Don't think he saw it.
He might have. That could have ruined his night right there. That could be why he called his teammates soft.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Cause
is he that much ahead of everyone else on like the is he that much more intense than every single NBA player that just every other player is soft compared to him? Is that kind of how it is? Is he never
see
going
that.
to be satisfied?
Yeah, that's kind of like the mantra or whatever it's called surrounding Jimmy Butler is that like he is just the ultimate tough guy. Like no one works harder than him, no one plays harder than him. But like, and he really kind of proved that point, I guess, last season, taking that Heat to the finals, I guess, because let's be honest, the Heat are not a finals team. That
Not
Heat
even
team was not
close.
a finals team. And while I do think Jimmy Butler is a great leader and showed he can lead a team to the finals, if that wasn't a Mickey Mouse finals, I don't think Jimmy Butler and the Heat get to the finals. I think the Bucks probably beat them, honestly, in a 7-game series, Bucks getting home court. I think the Bucks probably beat them. Um I don't know. I don't know. Props to the Heat for getting there, I guess, but it just goes to show this season in a normal type season, they're hovering around 500 right now, right? If I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
I think so. I don't know actually. I have no clue, but I'll agree with you there. So yeah, what was I going to say about Jimmy, man? Is he just I feel like that's not the right way to go about it. If you're really that great leader that he thinks he is, publicly calling out your teammates multiple times, it just doesn't seem like the right way to do it. I mean, maybe that's what he needed to do, but it just I don't know. That doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah, I it's tough because I think it's a good thing to do in the private locker room setting when you're with your
Yeah.
teammates to shout and scream at them. I think that's fine. I think that gets guys going. I know, especially probably doesn't really compare to the NBA, but when you're in a locker room, even for just high school, and one of your teammates is like actually getting on everyone, and you see one of your teammates screaming, I think it pumps everyone up. But
Oh, for sure.
if they went out, say like your school had a little press conference about how the game went, and you said, "Oh, Jake here sucked. He didn't give any effort." Like, how does that make like your teammates hear that and they feel
Yeah, for
that? So
sure.
I'm sure they didn't love Jimmy Butler calling them soft. I'm sure Bam didn't love Jimmy Butler saying that he needed to bully people around. He's not playing hard enough. Like,
Yeah, it just I feel like he's a little out of place there with that. But yeah, I think maybe like his teammates just kind of get burnt out with that. I mean, I mean, Jimmy Butler is the guy that we can blame for the Timberwolves' downfall right now. That trade single-handedly is why we don't have Zach LaVine and Carl Anthony Towns on the team.
so interesting point you just brought up, Zach Levine. I read an ESPN article. I think it was either yesterday or 2 days ago. But after the 2022 season, Zach Levine's set to become an unrestricted free agent, and he's not signing an extension. Now, D'Lo's contract, I think, is up after 2022 as well. So Zach Levine, I think, is a couple steps above D'Lo. First of all,
Yeah,
as much as I've loved D'Lo, um, and as much as we love D'Lo and Cat's connection, I think Zach LaVine and Cat's connection might run deeper
might
than
be.
D'Lo. So if I'm the Timberwolves, I'd love to re-sign Russell, but if you can somehow find a way to get a 28-year-old Zach LaVine to Minnesota dead in his prime, yeah, I'm doing that. I'm doing that over D'Lo.
I mean, yeah, would Levine be interested, do you think, in coming back after we kind of gave him away, just kind of got rid of him?
Well, I think you have new management. I think you have a new coach, and you still have Cat. So I mean,
Yeah.
I
But
don't
isn't
see any reason.
is he just kind of like a glorified Anthony Edwards at this point? Is he kind of what we want Anthony Edwards to be? So how would they mesh up on the same team together? Especially at that point, Anthony Edwards is going to be starting to find himself a lot more as a player, and he might be close to Zach Levine's level of play. So how do you think those two would play together on the court?
I think they play great, and the reason being is they are two a kind of the same player. And honest, for sure, Zach LaVine would be a great mentor. I just think Zach LaVine's a better playmaker than D'Lo in general too. You
Mhm.
see, you see Zach LaVine passing the ball more. Honestly, it's not a knock on D'Lo, but it's like sometimes when you watch him, he just puts his head down, runs around screens, and takes a bad shot. And it's like, oh, you could probably hit that guy in the corner. But Zach LaVine, man, he knows when to hit the open guy. His 3-point shot was what we kind of worried about when he was a rookie. He's a
You
tremendous shooter right
That's
now.
what I've noticed about his game. If there's one thing that sticks out about his game is he's an amazing shooter. And for sure in 2K, he's a great
Mhm.
shooter. But just yeah, in real life, he's a great shooter too. Didn't he have 10 threes in a game?
Yeah, I mean he's a tremendous player. Like he's a
Yeah.
3-level scorer now. And he's one of the best clutch players in the NBA this season. Is another trait that I don't think gets mentioned enough is clutchness, and he's won more than enough games for them this season single-handedly.
Yeah.
But I guess you also have to look at, so the Bulls just traded away 2 firsts and a really really nice young big in Wendell Carter. We both love him for his defensive prowess. So I think, where does that leave the Bulls? Like, oh shoot, Vucevic I think is also up in 2022. So
They're in an
that's
awkward position for sure. Really
because
awkward.
if Zach leaves, Nikola ain't staying, and the
No.
Bulls traded away 3 assets if you count the player.
Yeah.
So I mean, and they're kind of in a weird spot right now on the fringe of making the playoffs. But if they do make the playoffs, they're gonna get bounced first round by the Nets. Like, they're in a weird spot. So they either need to acquire another superstar
Yep.
or they need to start over again.
Yeah,
So
they're probably in a worse one of the worst spots in the NBA. Like that's just such a bad position to be in because they're not good enough to make a finals run. And their
no.
clock is really ticking. Like their clock runs out in 2022. So if they don't acquire that third superstar by then, like it's over. Especially if Zacky's coming back, like you basically said.
Yeah, and I mean, if if you're not even open to extension talks and want to hit the free market being unrestricted, I mean, that's not a great sign to your
No.
team if you can't get a if he's already looking 2 years in the future to the
Yeah.
2 free agencies. I mean, that ain't a good sign. So I don't
No.
know.
And yeah, you're talking D'Lo. D'Lo's back. He's getting a lot more minutes. Why do you think that D'Lo hasn't started yet? Do you think they're really just working him into that lineup, or when do you think we could see D'Lo starting?
Well, I've seen a lot of Timberwolves fans critiquing the no D'Lo starting, but I don't know. We've won actually a few games coming off the bench. I think the reason being is we talked about it earlier too, how we were kind of struggling to see the D'Lo, Ant, and Cat all fitting in, because it seems like Ant's always left out of that picture whenever that you know
Yeah.
that 3-man system's running, and it sucks because you don't want to see Anthony Edwards just sitting in a corner, because that he's not a corner spot up 3 guy. He
No,
needs
he
to be
needs the ball.
moving. He needs the
Yeah.
ball. So it's kind of nice D'Lo coming off the bench and running. So what they'll do is they'll usually take Ant out with like 5 minutes left, sub D'Lo in, and keep Cat in for the last 5 minutes. He usually plays all first quarter. and then we get to see Ant and Cat run together for 7 minutes. Then we get to see D'Lo and Cat run together, and then we get to see D'Lo with the second stringers for a little bit too. So it's everyone gets their touches. The offense is flowing. We've won. We've won a few games at least doing that. Hopefully they can figure it out over the offseason how that's all going to mesh. But I guess what's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I think there's really no rush to, and I really don't think him not starting is affecting us as much as like I think the fans really are just they try to find a scapegoat always, and I think that's just kind of what the comment fans and by the comment fans I mean the people that are going to leave hate comments on their own team's Instagram page and think that like the coach is going to see that or anything, but I think they always just run to look to something like, oh, we lost, like it must be because D'Lo isn't starting, but I really don't think that affects the game that much. I think that he ends up playing a decent amount of minutes still, and he still has a chance to impact the game as we've seen in many other games. If D'Lo's on, we have a very good chance to win, but if he's having a bad game, we don't have a chance to win really. And I don't think that has to do with him starting or not starting.
Yeah,
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think that's the reason why we've been losing games.
yeah, I agree with you. I think also it's just he plays like I think the argument a lot of people are trying to make is he'll end up playing like 33 minutes a game anyway. So why not start him? And it's for that I don't know. I
Well, it's a
guess
double-edged sword. You could argue that either way. Why start him or why not start him? He's still playing 33 minutes.
true, yeah, and
Yeah, like
I like him coming off the bench. I guess right now, especially when Malik's out. I mean, you need some second unit scoring. You can't just throw you know the Nas Reeds and Jordan McLaughlins of the world
dude,
out.
what happened to that? Man, I feel like they were so much better in the beginning of the season. Maybe I was just so much more optimistic, but I truly thought Naz Reid was one of the, like an elite. Like, he had a lot of potential, but now I don't see it as much from him anymore. I think he just kind of
I think he's a good serviceable backup big, and that's his role, and
I
he
know I
fits
thought
well
he
into
was going to
that.
be better
I
than
think
that
I think
though.
people just expect him to be more than he is.
Yeah.
Like he's already 23, 24, second year. I mean, he's averaging like 10 points a game, which is really good for a bench player. You can't expect Nas to go out there and score like 17 every single night. It's just not. If Nas is going out and scoring 17 a night, then there's something wrong with the starters at
that's
that point.
that's 100% true. I wanted to one stat I wanted to pull up from that Heat game was our boy Vando. I mean, he wasn't even playing in the last few games and he came out with 14 rebounds in that Heat game.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that a little bit later. So Vando got like 3 minutes in the one game, and he showed Finch why he's valuable to rebounding and defense,
Yeah.
and now Finch trusts him, and he's giving him minutes. And I think these last two games he's gotten actually huge minutes, like bench player minutes. So
Which is right where like if you're not playing Vando, man, like if you can't figure you got to figure out how to get him in a little bit cuz he never really like if you put him in for 1 or 2 minutes here and there, like all he can do is bring energy. Like he's not going to hurt the offense that much. Like obviously he can't shoot at all, but if you only leave him in for a couple minutes and just let him use his energy to give people a boost, I think that that can only be beneficial.
yeah, I agree. I like the Vando Nas pairing. I think it's a decent bench front court. I'm not a lot of playmaking there, but you
Well,
know it,
speaking of playmaking, what about our boy Okogie, man? He's been playing a lot better. And
I've been loving a Kogi lately. Yeah, I
we've
think
t-
he's great at the three.
yeah, we've touched on it a little bit, I guess, last Timberwolves talk, but he still is continuing to like put up some decent numbers here and there. Like offensively, he's just kind of turned it around.
He's been hitting the three lately too, which is nice to see. The past few games, I think he's been shooting at least over 30%, which is what we need from him. We can't, and I'm okay with him taking four corner threes a game if he's hitting at least half of them. Like that's fine. I don't. It's just if he's on that day or if he's off because I feel like there's no in between with him.
No.
He's either hitting his shots that day or he's not hitting his shots that day. You can always count on him for his intensity and his defense, but for him to really become a starter, like if he wants to compete with Malik for a starting spot at the three, he's gonna have to be able to hit threes.
Yeah, I 100% agree on that. And yeah, it seems like he only shoots corner threes, man. I don't think I've ever seen him. I saw him make my first three that I've seen him make. I saw that, but I have not seen him not shoot a corner three, if that makes sense.
It's just so weird. I don't get it. His form is like really good. He's been in the league for 3 years now. I mean, he's got to be able to
He's,
drop a few, right?
I mean, yeah, everyone, if you're in the NBA for a long enough time, you will get a jump shot. I think it's almost impossible to be in the league and have trainers like that and practice regiments like that and not at least maintain a somewhat like decent jump shot.
I mean, look at like Dwight Howard now. He's shooting corner threes. Like 5 years ago, if I told you Dwight Howard was shooting threes, you'd look at me crazy.
Yeah, I mean Ben Simmons, like I don't know, I don't understand how he has not got a decent jump shot yet. Like that doesn't make any sense to me.
It's so dumb how you see all these practice videos of Ben Simmons draining like 10 threes in a row and then he just won't take them into the game. Like it makes no
Yeah,
sense.
he should have like they should force him to shoot like 2 threes a game.
I would, yeah. I mean, he's just he's on the brink of being so good. It's just he's a defensive player of the year. He's a good inside scorer. He's just there's two things he's lacking, and that's being aggressive, driving the ball, and not shooting.
Yeah, those are two tough things to
Yeah, and
lack.
if you don't have those on offense, like you're not going to be a good scorer. I mean, at least a Kogi is aggressive. Like he'll go,
Yeah,
he'll miss it, but
at least he's shooting it. But dude, I remember when we like he was in some trade rumor. I don't know if it was a real rumor, if it was an NBA insider or whatever they're called rumor, but somewhere like they saw that maybe the Timberwolves are trying to get Ben Simmons. Like he would be the perfect fit on the Timberwolves.
I think it was for the first overall pick.
Last
Well,
year,
yeah,
dude, I like he would be such a good fit on this team
yeah.
without
I
D'Lo.
mean,
I guess if you were to somehow trade D'Lo for him, I
I
think
would
that
do
would.
it. I
I think.
mean, yeah, I don't. We'd have to give up probably D'Lo in it first, but I'd probably
Would you give up D'Lo in this top in a top 3 pick for Ben Simmons?
D'Lo in a top 3 pick.
I think
Oof.
I. What if it's the third pick? D'Lo in the third pick for
Does
Ben Simmons.
Evan Mobley fall to the third pick?
Well, this is another topic we wanted to bring up, but say Evan Mobley goes second, and we're left with Jalen Suggs. Would you rather have Jalen Suggs and D'Lo or Ben Simmons?
Hmm. Um. Blah, 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 blah. I don't know. That's a tough one. That
Oh,
actually is a
you got
tough
to
one
say, man,
because
you're a Timberwolves insider. You have to give us some perspective here.
it's tough because I'm. We'll talk about this in a little bit, but I'm so anti-drafting Jalen Suggs that I probably might do that trade.
I think I would do that trade too, man. If I'm going to be 100% honest with you, I think that well, how many well, I guess we're looking at contract years and all that crap, but just straight up as players, I would rather have Ben Simmons than those two because I don't know how those two would mesh together on the court at the same time.
Well, that's the thing. I'm so anti-drafting him because we already have way too many guards. We like a big like Ben Simmons who can take the ball up and play the four is that'd be nice. So I think I'd probably do it. I don't know what no hate on Jalen Suggs. I think he can be pretty good. He just has to be on the right team, and the Timberwolves are probably the last team he should be on with all the guard play we have.
Well, let's talk about Jalen Suggs. We were talking about this before we got on air. What is going on with that hat hair combo, man?
It's bad today.
Oh God.
I got the just woke up face on.
There you go. But I don't know. I think Jalen Suggs is a little overrated, and we're from that Minnesota area, and it's kind of like that's kind of like a thing you just don't say. But I don't know. I think he's a little overrated. I don't think that he is that top two, top three pick that everyone's saying. I think that's a little recency bias that might be playing into that. And I think his
And
team was just so
here's
good in
another thing
college.
though. We can touch on that in a sec. But so Doogie last year, if you guys watched our podcast last draft cycle, said we should take James Wiseman. And obviously, Peyton and I made the correct choice of wanting LaMelo. Doogie now this
Hey,
year
come
wants
on, man.
us to take Jalen Suggs. And we want Evan Mobley or Cade Cunningham. So I'm
Yeah,
not saying Jalen Suggs isn't going to be good. I'm just saying I'm going the opposite of Doogie during the draft.
yeah. Well, I mean, Evan Mobley. Well, what about these G League guys? What happened to them? They just got completely overshadowed ever since they didn't play in the
That's
team.
what I was just gonna mention that Jalen Green and Jonathan Kuminga, I would probably take over Jalen Suggs. They're Jalen Green
That's
averaging 20. Kuminga's a 6'8" like freak athlete. He's LeBron's body type. He's LeBron's athleticism. I'm not saying he's LeBron. I don't think his shot's not developed yet. He's raw. He's really raw, but a 6'8" power forward who's extremely athletic. Sign me up if Evan Mobley doesn't fall to us.
I mean, yeah, I just don't. I think that the recency bias and having the tournament this year, I think that that really blew up Jalen Suggs and it really dropped down Jalen Greens and Kuminga. I think that, I mean, before the tournament, Suggs was like a top 5, not a top 2, top 3 level pick. So I'm just saying, if the Timberwolves get that number 2 pick, I do not want us to take Jalen Suggs with the second pick.
And yeah, I mean, we'll just fully jump into. I feel like
Yeah,
we're already kind of on the
yeah,
draft,
we are.
but I don't know why Jalen Suggs draft stock. Like he had a decent tournament, but you just remember the shot, of course.
Yep.
But why is Evan Mobley's draft stock not being talked about? I mean, USC made a decent run.
No, not even a decent. They made an amazing run.
Mobley was maybe the best defensive player in the tournament with all his blocks. He was playing incredible post defense, and he can step outside and hit a shot.
He was your guy. He's been your guy.
He is my guy. I mean, a 7-footer that's going to play the forward position for us, who's that versatile. I mean, him and Cat together is like a dream combo.
So let's just
go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, I kind of budged right in.
No,
But
right.
but I mean, if we get the number 1 pick, we can both agree that you take Cade Cunningham. It doesn't matter what team you are. It doesn't matter who your point guard is. You take Cade Cunningham because he's just that much of a gem in the rough or whatever. I don't know how that thing goes.
He's a generational talent. You do not. He's the Zion. He's the. I don't know if I'd go as far as saying LeBron, but he's like the Andrew Luck.
Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, the Andrew Luck, Trevor Lawrence. Everyone's like, this is the safest like star pick. You're gonna like Andrew Luck, Trevor Lawrence, both gonna be Pro Bowlers. Cade Cunningham's gonna be an All-Star at some point in his career.
Yeah, so you take him. But where it gets fishy is when you get that second pick. The second pick, I feel like, has a very high chance of making the wrong pick.
And that's historically the second pick is a lot of the times I'm not gonna say the bust pick, but it's not the best pick.
Yeah, so we want that third pick. Realistically,
the third pick is the Tatums, the Dontici's.
Because you let them make that hard choice at 2, and then you just get whatever falls in your lap, and usually it's the right thing.
Yeah.
So if we don't get the 1, we want that third pick because then we're letting that second team make the hard decision.
Yeah, and this is tough this year too because, I mean, last year we started draft talk a little bit later, so we already knew what we were in the lottery. So this one, we don't even know if we're gonna have a pick. I think usually we have pretty good luck in the draft lottery, so I'm gonna beg to say I think we get our pick this year.
Especially how bad we've been playing lately.
And there's a huge misconception now within Timberwolves fans. I don't know how people don't understand this by now. I don't know if they needed to explain to them. But now that we just passed the Rockets in the West, we're the second worst team in the West now. People are like, "Oh my gosh, like why are we not tanking and losing more games? Why are we not? We need to be last to have the best chance to get first." And first of all, that's not true. If you're the top 3 last teams in the league, you all have the same shot at getting the number 1 overall pick. It doesn't matter which order the top 3 worst are. If you're at the top 3 worst, you all have a 14% chance of getting the 1 pick and a 40% chance of getting the top 3 pick.
Yep.
Not that hard.
No.
So I don't know why there's such a big discrepancy to lose now. I don't know.
Hey, we're doing a good job of that though.
Yeah, we really are.
I mean, at this point, I like a win here and there. Like this point, I think just getting everyone minutes, but wins are not that important to me at the moment.
How many more games do we even have?
I don't know, man. It seems like this season's been going on for a long time. It really does. And yeah, man, it just sucks Malik's out because we still have yet to see the whole roster. That's just
yeah. Yep. So we did a little bit of draft talk, but I think what we are going to do today, guys, is probably end the Timberwolves talk soon, but we still have to record a couple videos for you guys today. We have a Twins talk coming up, and then lately we've been doing the third video, which is kind of like the fun video. So I think either we do draft talk or a mock draft. We don't know yet. We're still deciding. But
Yeah,
if
we're
whatever we don't do, let us know what you want to see draft wise. If we don't do a mock draft today, then and you want to see one, comment that below. If we do a mock draft, you want to see some player analysis, comment that.
I think we should get into some player analysis. I think we need to. I need some time to do a full mock draft, if I'm going to be honest with you.
Fair
And
enough.
yeah, we'll probably end up doing multiple mock drafts. We'll do one here, kind of just like not the teams that they go to, but just kind of the order that they get drafted. And then once the lottery comes out, we can maybe get more in depth onto where each player would get picked, I guess.
Yeah, that's kind of where this channel blew up, was the draft
I mean,
stuff. So
blew up. I don't know about blew up, but
got a little
a little.
got our foot in the water.
Yeah, but so you got the Timberwolves schedule pulled up still?
Yes, we
So
have.
yeah.
So we play the Kings back to back tomorrow and Wednesday. Then we have a 2-game series against the Jazz, the best team in the NBA.
Yep.
We got the Grizzlies, Heat, Nuggets, Celtics, Mavericks. Yeah, not an easy. So for all you guys that want us to tank, it's looking pretty good for that. We do play the Rockets again. I think the very winnable games coming up are probably the Rockets. I'm not even going to say the Grizzlies because I don't know why we can't win against them, but we're not going to win that game. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
The Rockets, Magic, Pistons are the only winnable games I see. Maybe the Pelicans. We actually do pretty well against them.
Jesus. That's tough, man.
So
But
that's
yeah,
4 games at max. For all you guys that want us to tank, 4 games.
but yeah, I think that I mean it's kind of getting to the dog days of the Timberwolves talk era. Like there's not really much unless like any big news that could have happened kind of already happened.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's anything that you guys kind of want us to talk about, I guess in these videos, that would be very appreciated. Just so we have some new things to talk about, because it's tough to talk about the team losing and like like it's just tough to talk about that stuff because there's not really much new stuff coming up. So anything that you guys would like us to talk about, that would really help us out if you could drop that in the comments.
Yep,
And
for
yeah, I
sure.
mean, thanks for sticking with us, guys. Like all your comments on our videos, like we love it. We love everyone in the comments. Like they're always hilarious. Like just having a nice comment thread is always the best. But yeah, thanks for watching. We got a lot of videos coming out this week, so make sure to tune into all those. And you know what? Have a great week, guys. You say something, Chris?
You hit it on the head. I mean, have a great week, guys. There's gonna be more videos. This will probably be the first one that comes out of the little series that we do this week. So be on the lookout. Have post notifications on.
There you go. See you guys.